As much as I've always loved Altra, I've always felt they've been a little bit behind other brands just in terms of the designs, the materials in the shoe, the technology, even the colorways. And I think that's why I got so excited about the new Olympus 4, because one look at it and you can just see, it's such a massive improvement in all those areas. And it's just what, I've been hoping Altra would do for such a long time. So this is where all my old shoes ended up when we renovated, and I thought for a bit of perspective on just how far Altra really has come, I would show you the very first pair that I got, which is these things right here. I probably got them like 2014 or 15 maybe. They're actually Paradigms, and I never forgot this shoe just because of how bad it looked. It's so average. Yeah, it's pretty terrible, but they did something right because I've run in Altras ever since. The zero drop and everything, it's solved so many issues I was having at the time with just annoying injuries and things like that. But I think the biggest thing, they did for me was they just sort of gave me confidence, I could trust them. And when I was, training for races and putting a lot of time and effort into it, and, the races themselves, that confidence counts for a lot. It did for me anyway, so kind of crazy looking at these things now, but yeah, Olympus 4s, I should probably talk about those a bit. I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with not just the Olympus, but large stack height, cushion shoes in general. When I started running, they were such a massive help. It was crazy because I was so weak, just years of not having done any exercise, had no conditioning in my legs, and they literally just allowed me to run more consistently and not get as sore. And then, as I started building up and training more, getting more conditioning in the legs, I kind of moved to running in the Lone Peaks a lot, that kind of stack height, but I always kept, a pair of Olympus in my rotation because it's still super useful, I felt like, big training week, you saw last session or whatever, and just having that softer ride is just super useful. And then to where I'm at right now, I haven't been able to run as much. I've lost a lot of conditioning again, and they're pretty much my go-to everyday shoes at the moment because, again, I can run more. So I've always found them super useful in that respect. The downside for me is just kind of, they don't always inspire a lot of confidence with the large stack height. Can sometimes feel a bit clumsy. The one time I wore the Olympus in a race, I rolled my ankle really bad. They were the wrong shoes to choose with that race, I'll say that. That was the Grossglockner 50K. It was actually a lot more technical than what I thought. But that's kind of the downside for me. It's just the stack height and running on technical terrain. So I've always sort of kept, the Lone Peak as my race shoe and just utilised the Olympus as a training shoe. And it's always been really useful for me. I think they really nailed just the ride and feel of this shoe though. It doesn't feel bulky and chunky. I think some of the previous models kind of felt a little bit that way to me. It feels really refined and sort of like they've cut off, all that sort of unnecessary chunkiness. But still a really nice cushioned feel. For me, the ride on this is just on point. It's right on the sweet spot. It's not too cushioned where you get that weird spongy feeling. It's just nice. And I haven't noticed sort of the ride deteriorating. I'm probably 250 to 300 Ks or so deep into this pair of shoes. It's, I think the first couple of runs with any shoe, the cushion feels better and then it flattens out a little bit. But from there, it stayed super consistent. So to me, the ride and feel is literally on point. It's really nice. So I've been happy with the fit of the shoe, at least for me personally, and my foot and everything. With Altra in the past, I've kind of run into issues, mainly with Lone Peaks, in the upper, just stretching out over time, and you got to sort of reef down the laces just to get it to hug your foot. But I haven't run into that issue. When I saw the new upper, I was kind of concerned about that because it's really refined. It's actually really nice. But the fit has stayed consistent. Like first couple of runs, I just got the laces dialed in, and got it feeling how I wanted, and it's stayed consistent since then. And that's all I'm after. There's nothing worse than a shoe feeling good out of the box, and then it just, 100k in, it just gets all flogged out and loose and everything. So I haven't had any issues like that. Size is running true, which is great because Altra's always been a little bit iffy with sizing, but size 12 for me is bang on, so been happy with that. So you get a Vibram outsole on these, which is a massive, massive positive. I'm all about Vibram. And the funny thing is, I never cared about grip on shoes at all. I never really even considered it until I got light base put on my Lone Peaks before the CCC. And throughout that race, I completely changed my mind because the grip was mental. Like, it just gave me so much confidence. And there's times in that race, it was pouring rain, wet rocks, super technical in spots, never let me down. And I've been, into it ever since. And it's real rad that you get a stock on these shoes. It looks like they've improved it a little bit as well, because I'm pretty sure it covers more area of the actual outsole with the Vibram rubber, so that's sick. And durability with Vibram is insane. Like, in my experience, you'll blow something else out on the shoe before you wear out a Vibram outsole. And that's great because generally I always wear out the outsole first. So Vibram's sick, can't go wrong. So overall, I've been stoked on this shoe, man. I think it's a huge improvement on all previous models of the Olympus. Probably the best Altra shoe ever, to be honest. I love the innovation. I think it's a huge step forward in the right direction, kind of, what I've always wanted to see them do. And they've done it all, but still kept the Altra feel, still feels like a pair of Altras, it's got that DNA still, so it's rad. Makes me excited for like the next Lone Peak. I hope they put Vibram on that. That would be seriously sick. So dreams would come true. But I hope this helps. A few of you guys have asked sort of what I thought of them and that. So hopefully it's helpful if you're kind of tossing up on buying a pair. Check out Ginger Runner's review. He did a really good one. So if you want like an actual proper review, suss that out. I'll link it in the description. This has just kind of been my thoughts and opinions, I suppose. So that's about it. Thanks for a lot of really nice supportive comments on my last video. I really appreciate those, seriously. So thank you. I'm sick of my own voice and talking now, so I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next one. Later.